Are you ready to transform your summer into an epic splash-tastic adventure? Say goodbye to wasteful, single-use water balloons and hello to the ultimate in reusable, eco-friendly fun with reusable water balloons. Check out the link in the video description to get yours on Amazon today.
A Kamala Harris presidency would be historic, but not for the reason you think. The VP's late entry into the 2024 presidential race has raised the prospect of America having its shortest ever leader. At 5 feet 2, Harris would be the shortest president since the 6 feet 1.5 inches George Washington took up the role in 1789, although Harris strongly insists she's around 5 feet 4. Statistics suggest that candidates' stature plays a crucial role in whether they're picked for the next president. Two-thirds of U.S. presidential candidates who have won the popular vote were taller than their rival, and the average height of U.S. presidents is around 6 feet. Experts have explained that our animal instincts come into play when selecting a leader, much like in the animal kingdom where the largest males typically lead the pack because they're more adept at overcoming their rivals. The argument I have made is that humans have that preference because in the evolutionary environment, humans who had allies that were physically formidable were more likely to be able to acquire and protect vital resources, like food, shelter, and mates, who would help them fight for resources. Dr. Greg Murray, a political science professor at Augusta University told DailyMail.com. Dr. Murray conducted a study in 2011 that asked 467 American and foreign students to draw a figure of a typical citizen and a national leader side by side. The study found that more than half of the participants drew the leader to be taller than the citizen. This is reflected in most U.S. presidential elections. In total, nearly 6 in 10, 58%, of the successful candidates who won the Electoral College were taller than their opponents. But when you look at who won the most votes overall, known as the popular vote, two-thirds of winning candidates, 67%, were taller than their opponents. For example, in the 1828 election John Quincy Adams, who stood at 5 feet 7.5 and won the presidency, even though Andrew Jackson, 6 feet 1 inch, won the popular vote. Past presidents like Abraham Lincoln, 6 feet 4 inches, who loomed over his opponent Stephen Douglas, 5 feet 4 inches, won both the popular and electoral vote in 1960. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 6 feet 2 inches, was the only president to hold office for more than 2 terms and beat out 4 other candidates, only one of whom, Wendell Willkie, was taller than him by half an inch. James Madison, who served as the 4th President of the United States, was the shortest person to win the position, standing at 5 feet 4 inches, but is not remembered for his height, but rather for being the father of the Constitution and writing the Federalist Papers. Meanwhile, statistics show that American presidents are getting taller on average. Murray said this could be because taller individuals are more likely to run for office, and people generally are getting taller. But Gert Stulp, a researcher from the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, told DailyMail.com that he has 3 other theories as to why tall candidates do well in America. Given that a favorable childhood environment leads to favorable outcomes in later life, such as physical health and cognitive ability, and because favorable environments lead to taller heights, there exists a small correlation between height and these favorable traits. Most political candidates probably have had very favorable childhood environments, so I am not sure this explanation will be very useful. 2 taller individuals, perhaps of reason 1, favorable upbringing, or because they have been treated differently in their lives, may behave differently, for example, more confidently. 3 people's perceptions are associated with size, for example, taller individuals are perceived as better leaders, more dominant, more intelligent. I think this may be a better explanation for more favorable outcomes of taller politicians. This is too bad, because this is independent of the quality of the individuals, and is some form of discrimination. Murray further explained that taller males are more likely to think of themselves as qualified to be a leader and, via this increased sense of qualification, they are more likely to demonstrate an interest in running for a leadership position. Candidates seem to take their height into serious concern, even as Harris vehemently denied being 5 feet 2 inches, and demanded to be acknowledged for the extra 2 inches. In an interview with